Welcome to another MHB tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to show you how to record good video and audio with your phone, your DSLR, camcorder, or your GoPro. Now, basically, I've been asked this a lot, and so this is why we're creating this tutorial in the first place, but a lot of people only have their phones, and they have their phones on them 24/7 nowadays, and they always record video like this, and it really sucks for me editing later, because it's so much more difficult if you record like this. So, the first thing to do with your phone, if this is the best quality camera you have, I guess you kind of have to use it. But if you have a better quality camera, then use your DSLR or your camcorder. But if your phone is all you have, then use it. First thing to do with your phone is never ever hold it like this ever again. Please turn it on your side. When you go to the movies, your image is always wider than it is tall. In a movie theater, your screen isn't really tall. It's always horizontal. So you want to make sure you're holding your camera like this with two hands, and that makes your image more stable as well. Keep in mind where your microphone is on your phone, so you're not covering it over with one of your fingers and then all your audio is muffled. So make sure that's free and open. Now still hold it with two hands, but make sure it's closer to your body. And what I'm doing here is I'm holding on an angle with my hands. Rather than holding like this or holding like this, I'm actually holding like this where my elbows are against my body, and now they act as like a spring almost. And that way, if I do get bounced around a little bit and my hands get a little bit shaky, well, now I'm more stable because I'm resting my elbows against my body, and I'm making it kind of stiff, but not really all that stiff. You don't want to be too stiffed up, and that way your image is really crappy and really shaky if you're too stiff. You want to be kind of loose, but kind of also trying to hold it as stable as you possibly can. Now also with your phone or any image you're trying to capture, you want to make sure that it's parallel to your horizon. So if you're outside and you see a hillside behind you, then make sure the top of your screen, your top of your image, is parallel to the line of your horizon in the image. So if there's a hillside, you want to just hold your phone level to that line and parallel to that horizon line. If you're inside, how do you do that? Well, basically how we do that normally is if you're shooting against a flat wall like this, then see where the line is where your wall meets the ceiling, and that line is your horizon line, and you want to hold it level to that line. If you're shooting someone in a corner of a room, then it's going to be a little bit more difficult, but try to keep it as level as possible. The more level your image is, the better it's going to be in the end. Now, if you have a DSLR or camcorder, then please use a tripod. It's kind of mandatory to use a tripod nowadays, because that's going to be much more stable than your hands. Anytime you can put it on something, even if you put your phone on a table or something like that, it's going to be more stable than you holding it in your hands. But how do you get the image without a bunch of people in the way, or basically without seeing a bunch of the backs of everyone's heads? Now, if you've ever been to an event that we've been recording, we always go in the back of the room, and we also have high-powered lenses so we can zoom in really far away. So unless you have a really high-powered lens on your camera that you can do that with, I highly suggest you don't do it. Get as close as you can and be in front of everyone else. That way you're not seeing the backs of everyone's heads. And basically go in front of everyone, set up your tripod there, or your phone on the table, and make sure it's a level image. Now, with audio, it's a whole nother thing, because if you're recording with your phone and that's all you have, then it's going to record audio there. If you only have a DSLR or camcorder, it's going to record audio to that camcorder or DSLR. But a great way to record audio is if you have a DSLR and you have a phone, well then record video with your DSLR and record audio with your phone. Take the voice memo app on your phone and record with it. Now, basically one thing to keep in mind is when you record audio and on your DSLR, or if you're recording audio on your phone or your GoPro even, because GoPros have really great audio on them, and we can always throw out the video later on, so don't worry about that. Just record audio with your GoPro, stick it in front of your tripod and stuff like that, stick it on the ground, and just leave the lens shoot up in the air for a couple minutes, you know? But if you're recording audio with either your GoPro or your phone, make sure it's closer to the action, so make sure it's just on a table or if it's on the floor in front of your tripod, just make sure it's always stable and don't touch that at all. Try not to even breathe close to it because it's going to be very noticeable. So basically, when you're recording with your phone and a DSLR or a camcorder and you're recording audio separately, you don't have to start both of them at the same exact time. So you can hit record on your phone for the audio and you can hit record on your DSLR a minute later. It doesn't matter, as long as you hit record on both before the action starts. We can always sync that audio later on with our very highly advanced editing program, so don't worry about that. You don't have to simultaneously hit record on both of them. But when you hit record on anything, on your phone, your DSLR, your camcorder, your GoPro, whatever you're recording on, when you're recording that, make sure you record at least 10 seconds before whatever you want to record begins. So if you're recording, let's say, a band play a song, make sure you hit record 10 seconds at least before that band starts playing that song, because it's going to give us room to edit with. If you just start hitting record when they start the song, well, then we're not going to have that much room to play around with or fade into the scene. Also, I've had people send me video clips that started 10 to 20 seconds after the song started. You don't want that. So make sure you hit record before that song starts, at least 10 seconds before it starts. So now that we've determined how to record the best way on your phone, holding it close to you, making sure it's level, and making sure its camera is horizontal. Also, if you have a DSLR or a camcorder, make sure it's on a tripod, record with it, and then record audio on your phone if you have a phone separately. And if you're inside, use your GoPro as an audio recorder. If you're outside, then use it as a video recorder. But how do you get us the files once you record them? Well, the easiest way to determine that is by going to the link right here on your screen right now, or the link in the description below. Once you're on that page, you'll be able to answer some very easy questions, and it'll determine the easiest way for you to get us those files. It'll also give you a step-by-step process on how to get us those files so that there's no confusion. But if there is any confusion, please give us a call at 570-544-3136 or email us anytime at matthaslamproductions@yahoo.com. Thank you for joining us for another MHP tutorial, and see us next time.